My name's Rupert Guenther and I'm a concert violinist and composer, and I'm in Perth at the moment doing pre-production and rehearsals for the Winter Arts Festival at UWA, and we've got a couple of concerts coming up there as part of the Winter Arts, and it's an exciting thing that we're doing. We've got one concert with a didgeridoo player in a gallery of Indigenous art, desert art, and what we're doing is musically interpreting the stories and the energy of those paintings into sound. That's what we do. We work improvisationally, and so we're classical musicians. I'm here with my cellist from Austria, and this is our special skills base where we interpret the environment around us with our instruments and create entire concerts. My introduction to music was kind of by induction. I come from a family of musicians, and from the time I was born there was music going on around me. So there were, and it was nearly all strings. So it was violin, cello, viola, piano, bassoon. It was all happening, and so I grew up with that. And my parents were music lovers, music lovers, and several of us continued to be professionals with it. So for me it was just a natural gravitation in the family. Why I chose violin, I don't know. I don't even remember. Well, until the beginning of last year I was based in Europe. So I've returned to live in Australia and chose Western Australia. I'm actually from the East Coast, from Melbourne, where I grew up and did a lot of my study. But the last 15 years or so I've really been moving around Australia a lot and around the world a lot. I was based in Vienna for a long time. I did a lot further studies in Vienna. I did 3 years of further studies with one of the great maestros in Austria, and then I worked in the operas and orchestras there for a long time as well. So I had a big beginning in Europe, and that kind of stuck, and I've been going back every year or even living there for extended periods. Most classical musicians don't improvise a lot or at all, and because it's become my specialty, I have to seek out players who can do it or understand it or are willing to work with me to learn how to do that. So I've worked with people in lots of countries. I've worked with people in the UK, I've worked with people in Australia and America and Europe, and it's always the same story, that if someone's open to it, I'll give them a kind of short master course in my approach, and what it does, it allows people who have got a really high calibre of classical training to find their feet and their own voice and their own musical language. So once we've done that, it doesn't really matter where they're from. In this instance, the cellist, who's a fabulous cellist who trained in Europe also, is actually an expat Aussie. She's actually my big sister, Penelope, and so it's, instead of being two solo concert artists, what we're doing and putting our resources together, and we've formed this duo as a project, the Mandelbrot duo, named after the mathematician Benoit Mandelbrot. And the whole focus of our work is improvising new classical works, and to be able to work with someone like Dr. Richard Walley, the very well-known Australian didgeridoo performer. It's a great honour and privilege to work with another international artist, you know, coming out of such a strong cultural background and such a fabulous instrument as the didgeridoo. So we really love looking for these opportunities to blend the European classical traditional sounds and instruments with percussion or unusual indigenous instruments and voices. So working with Richard Walley's right up our alley, and really looking forward to this exciting concert. The thing is, we're in the 21st century, we've got all these tools at our disposal, and for me it's just a matter of taking advantage of that, and Skype with a webcam is a really obvious asset. So yeah, I do give lessons all around the world on Skype, and I keep up with my students who are here in Australia when I'm away. We have rehearsals. The duo, the Mandelbrot duo, has a lot of its rehearsals using Skype because Penelope's based in Austria and I'm often in Australia or the UK or somewhere else. So it's an ideal technology for us. UWA invited me to be part of this program. I think they wanted to have something that was contemporary and original on the program, and they had access to me, so that was, I think, an obvious choice for them. And what it brings is Australian content, original content, in a medium which is normally predominantly, the well-known classical composers, to show that classical musicians can in fact make their own music and be their own voice and develop their own distinct language and identity through that. And the other beautiful thing about it is that it allows us to go into environments, whether it's a concert hall or an open stage like here at Northbridge, or it could be a festival like the Burning Man Festival in the Nevada desert in America, and to create works that express that spirit of place. Because for all of us, I think this is one of the hallmarks of my work and all the people who enjoy working with me and who I choose to work with, is that music's a spiritual journey, it's a spiritual thing, and it comes out of the land, and it's about people's own personal journeys, and it's really about opening people's hearts in the end. My message is all about opening people's hearts and creating a tolerance in society where everyone can appreciate each other. And I think this is, as a musician, being able to work individually and show, I think it starts with the individual and people trusting their own voice, not having to resort to other traditions or old traditions or other people's ways or some sort of intermediary in their music or their personal spiritual thing, is to just be confident that what they've got is good enough and to really live out of that. The performances coming up here in WA, we've got in Perth at the University of Western Australia, the concert with Richard Walley in the Lawrence Wilson Art Gallery is on Sunday the 10th of July at 7 p.m, and there's an artist talk, a really interesting artist talk beforehand at 6 o'clock. And then the second concert is just with the cello and the violin, and we'll be doing a new program of works called Galaxy and Southern Ocean Suite. Two fantastic works exploring the origins of the universe and the oceans here down to Antarctica. And that's on Tuesday the 12th of July at 7 o'clock again. Fascinating artist talk beforehand at 6 o'clock. That's in the Callaway Auditorium at UWA.